What's up, Mike?
What's going on?
You know what? Today I have somebody who's been an incredible mentor to me, somebody who has been an inspiration to me for many years. We worked together once upon a time when I first started in the mortgage industry, and to watch his career just blossom to where it has gone to over these last 2 decades has been just front row seats to this has been amazing. So today I have with me Michael Silva from Livermore, California, and he's been a lender for, how many years have you been a lender? What's your story, Mike?
23 years now as a lender.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What got you into lending?
You know, I just stumbled across it, really. You know, that's what I ended up doing one day. I just looking for a career. I was always been into fitness and working out. I was a personal trainer. And one day I came across this guy, and I bought a vehicle off of him, actually.
No way.
Yeah. And
like he was a car salesman, or was he?
No, he just had some nice cars, and I bought one of his cars. And I'm like,
okay.
Hey, what do you do for a living? And he's like, I'm a mortgage broker. I'm in the mortgage business. I said, well, man, that looks good from here. I mean, how do I get started? What do I do? He said, you got to get your license. I said, okay, I'll get my license and I'll call you. So 45 days, in, and just got my license, did everything, and gave him a call.
Wow.
And that's how it all ended right there.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. Yeah.
In 2 decades of knowing you, I didn't know that's how it started.
Yeah. That's how it started.
Because when I met you, I came into a large company at the time, CFG, California Financial Group in Pleasanton. It was the hottest place to work at. I remember fax machines at that time would come in with resumes and people would be turned away, you know?
Yeah.
And when I was there, I remember everybody was talking about Michael Silva and his work ethic, even back then, So with that being said, I mean, what do you think has caused you to be so disciplined in your business, even in your life? I mean, you're like, these folks don't know, but you were a bodybuilder. You were competed in shows. You won those, right?
Yeah. I won a few shows. Had definitely was in the bodybuilding world for a while. That taught me a lot of discipline. Really did. Mental discipline, physical discipline. It was a combination of both, really. And that's what's great about bodybuilding or fitness, especially on that level. It's very meticulous. So you got to be really psychologically, you got to be tuned in, and everything you eat, how many hours you sleep, what time you work out, all the details really matter. So, that taught me a lot. I think it really was. That was it. But I always get, whatever I do, I get hyper focused, and I just want to do that thing. So
that's what's interesting to me. And I think that's what a lot of people, because I don't know about you, I don't know how folks find my number, but they call me and they go, hey, Sonny, I want to, become a loan officer, or I want to be a lender, or I want to be a real estate agent. Like, where do I start? What do I do? And I'm like, whoa, like I don't have a 1-800 free advice, call me shirt on, right? And I know you get those calls as well. And you have a pretty large team. You got a lot of people on your team, right? What would you say is a key factor in your business and how you got it to where it is today? Is it like, what got you here?
I think what got me here really was how do I say this? Like, anything that you get passionate about, right? Like whether you may not even know it, but like, let's say you just want a better life, and you just get passionate about having a better life. And then you find a way to do that. And that was, for me, it was just the mortgage industry. You find little things about the industry that you're like, wow, I could really do this. I have that unique ability. And then you just get more into it. It's just like working out and bodybuilding. If you work out and you start seeing results, you're like, wow, I can get results. This is great. I'm excited. You want to keep going, right? So
totally.
Yeah.
No, that's a great way to answer it. I think what I've seen, and also is you talk about your vision. Like you do vision planning, you do goal setting, and this is how you kind of work on that, and you hit your goals. Like, how does that look? Like when you're saying, hey, I want to get into the mortgage business, I want to have this. Did one day a while ago, were you just like, this is the life I want to live, this is what I need to do to get there. And then you pushed forward with that.
Yeah. I think that I can be obsessive with whatever I grab onto and become not only obsessive, but loyal to that idea. And so mix that with a little bit of knucklehead and stubbornness, then that's, I think, the ingredients.
That's
right?
the cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the cocktail right there.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to switch gears here. We talked a little bit about, how you got here and how we met, but, crazy things are happening right now in the real estate market.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate, like, what is a seller feeling right now?
I think a seller feels like they have the golden handcuffs on right now because they have that extremely low interest rate, right? But now they're at stages in their life where they maybe outgrown the home, right? That could be the issue. Or they're just like, you know what? I would like a different layout, I'd like a bigger backyard. I would like a pool. I would like this. But now they have this low rate. So what can they do, right? If you can't modify your home to get it where you want to move, but you're like those golden handcuffs are on tight.
I got my 2.5% mortgage.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out on that.
Yeah. How many conversations, I don't know how many I've had over that, right? But what can you do for me? I have a 3.25 rate. Well, okay, that's great, but let's look at other things. Let's look at what are you paying in your credit card debt right now? Paying 25%? What now? Maybe 30 right now?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So interest is interest. You may have a 3.25 rate, but how much interest are you paying overall? And where's that interest going?
Yeah.
It's not going in your pocket.
I read this somewhere, and Matt, I'll have to source this later during the edit, but I read that 78% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck right now. And this is the highest yield of credit card spending and debt accumulation we've seen in history.
Trillions right now.
Yeah. So when you come across somebody, I haven't approached my client database with that yet. But when you come across somebody who, let's say, has 100K in debt or 80K in debt, but they're sitting on a 2.875 mortgage on their $500,000 or $400,000 house, and they say, Mike, I don't know what to do. Like, what advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, I don't know. The questions I would ask really is how's that working out for you, right? At the end of each month, are you saving money? Or are you not sleeping at night?
Yeah.
So it really comes down, it doesn't matter. Like, interest rate really doesn't matter if the next 3 to 5 years you're going to be, staying up at night stressing about how you're going to pay these bills. That mortgage structure, that debt structure is not working out for you, right?
It's not.
So would you rather have a 6% rate and you're saving money every month because you consolidated or you now have freed up cash flow? Or would you rather brag about your low interest rate?
I'd
rather sleep at night.
I'd rather
honestly,
sleep at night, yeah.
Physical
fitness, your mental stress. Stress is the number one killer. It leads to heart attacks. We talked briefly about what sellers want, or what sellers are experiencing right now. I'm going to flip that switch on you. What are buyers feeling right now? I mean, it's September. I'm going to date this. I don't know if this is going to age well or horribly, but it's September. We're pressing on September 2024. What is a buyer feeling right now?
I don't know if a buyer feels like a buyer. Can they buy? Right? Can they buy? Can they afford it? I don't think a lot of people don't think they can afford it right now. They're just trying to keep up right now with inflation, and just saving money is probably their next goal. Not buying a home is probably their next goal. Like, how could I break even or save money, let alone think about buying a home? So yeah, it's an affordability crisis right now.
That's wild. You called it a crisis. That's wild. Are you seeing this? Is there any market you're primarily in the East Bay market, and I know you're shifting here to Placer County soon, right?
Yeah.
You're moving your beautiful family, 2 daughters and a son. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Just, and I traded up I traded up at 2.5% interest rate for 6.5.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I broke the golden handcuffs.
So you had a 2.5% mortgage.
2.5%.
Was that a 30 or 15?
30-year fix.
30-year fix.
Yeah.
And you flipped to a 6.5%.
Flipped to a 6.5.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm not going to let those golden handcuffs hold me back. I wanted what I wanted for my family, and it got me out of my. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not comfortable. You're in
Granite Bay now, right?
Yeah, Granite Bay.
Oh,
yeah.
Matt, Granite Bay. What was that? Last year's niche report, top 7 or top 10 place to raise a family in the U.S. In the U.S. Hey, congratulations on that move.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, I gotta, so a buyer is not feeling like a buyer right now. You're in the lending business. Your career is you are the branch manager. You have a you have a pretty big team. Okay.
Yeah. And we have a few branches, right? And I have some partners in that.
Few branches.
And we have some partners in that. And, it's not an easy time right now, right? But we all got our heads down. We're all working hard right now.
And you guys are working hard to service majority of those individuals, unless, the Fed cuts happen and they're saying a refi boom is around the corner. However, you're servicing primarily those that are buying homes. What is that buyer? Is there something that you can even do to lessen the burden for that buyer? Like when they're going through this process, this tumultuous process, they're looking at the financing. What's making that buyer cross the finish line to sign the docs and wire the money and close and be happy?
I think it's just the first step is really just finding the affordable payment. So people are having to sacrifice, whether it's distance from work or maybe a little smaller home. But people are still buying. There's not a shortage of buyers right now because there's a shortage of inventory.
Yeah.
Right. There's people that want to buy. Not everyone can buy right now. But yeah, I think it comes down to, and every client I've spoken to is like, let's get this right first. Let's get this payment right. And then let's go find your home. And then once you have that financial clarity, you'll know where to look. But everyone's having to sacrifice. There's few people that can, that can live and buy and where they want to. But for the most part, most people are commuting. Most people are buying a little smaller home.
What do you do with I know someone's watching this is probably starting their, maybe a seasoned investor is starting their purchasing, journey. But what do you specifically do when you run into that buyer or borrower that, let's say it's a couple, hypothetically it's a couple, and that they're qualified here, but they want the pool and they want the gated community. They want to be here, they might be living beyond their means a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you approach that conversation?
It's pretty simple, right? Like from the start, I could just ask the question, what are you paying right now? Okay. How much money are you saving on average each month at the end of each month? What does that look like? Okay. This payment is X. So I don't have to say, hey, you're overbuying. I can just educate, ask a couple questions, and it's up to them at that point, right? Mm-hmm. If you tell me, hey, I could afford, $5,000, but right now I'm paying rent at $3,500 and I'm saving about $2,000 at the end of my month, each month. Okay. You have a $500 differential. One thing goes wrong, you're throwing something on a credit card.
Yeah.
Right. So I can give you the math. I can walk you through it, but they're going to purchase. They're going to do it. And education that's just what we do, right?
Yeah.
We educate them and they make their decision.
Totally. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about purchasing out of your limit and you're not listening to the clues that are left behind, you might want to rethink that. Education was it's such a good segue, because there's a thought process that guys like you, guys like me, guys like you, let's keep the focus on him, Matt. They grew up in a household where financial literacy was present, and there was a lot of, it was a higher income household.
Yeah.
And, and education was something that was pressed. Mike, what was your early life? What was your childhood? There has to be something that has created that discipline that I'm trying to get to. And if I'm crossing the line, you could shut it down now. But what was it like growing up in the Silva residence?
I've never spoke about this on camera. So this is
we can skip it,
but it's, my household was a little different, and I was raised by an individual. My dad was kind of ran things with an iron fist, and I come from a family of dysfunction, and it wasn't easy. It was difficult, but I gotta say that this is a tough one for me.
Yeah.
Because my dad was always in trouble when he was younger and all that stuff.
So you're saying you didn't grow up in a Harvard educated, like high income society, which is what a lot of people actually end up thinking, when they meet a individual like us. They're like, oh, this guy probably grew up around finance his whole life, and that's why he lives this way. But it's usually sometimes quite the opposite behind the curtain.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. Like, my dad is, multiple felon, and we grew up on Section 8 and lived in a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house with, I have, 3 other, siblings, and it was just, 1,100 square feet. I was, moved out to California, I think when I was around 9 years old. My dad had to flee, felon, violated his parole.
Oh no.
Moved to California where he can find work, and run away essentially. But yeah, iron fist home, dad ran the show, a lot of fear in everybody. Everyone was on eggshells at all times. Yeah, it kind of sucked. Some people walked in the footsteps, some people did not. I did not. I wanted more for myself. So I took a different path.
Yeah.
Than what my family.
Clearly.
I took a different ticket, right? I just said, I don't want that one. I'll take it. I'll take the other one.
For those that don't know, please get to know Mike Silva. I've had the privilege of getting to know him, and there's been moments where he's definitely been a main reason as to why my life went in a positive direction versus a negative direction. And I thank you for that. I truly thank you for that. That's not some blown smoke stuff. The point that I was trying to make was it's oftentimes the kid who grew up with a little bit of a edgier lifestyle or a chip on their shoulder, or a product of just not the environment we have now, and they end up longing for it. Like, dude, we didn't have sneakers, like good shoes growing up. They're taped up. They're hand-me-downs from the kids in the neighborhood. When I grew up,
wings.
And so my kids have every Nike, and I'm probably ruining them.
These to school,
and I'm probably ruining my kids for the future. But I gravitate towards these individuals because these individuals usually have the following characteristics. They're usually very driven. They're very focused. There's a pattern. It's like the Plinko game, They're usually the opposite of the household that they grew up in. And I've watched you as a parent, I've watched you as a husband, and, you're killing it. You're crushing it. Going a different direction now with it, I got to ask you a question that a lot of people want to know, right? Mm-hmm. You're successful. What's an average workday look like for you? Like, what does your average workday look like for you? Because you're fit. If you go on Instagram, this is like what the kids want. They look at it, they're like, oh, the guy's got a 6-pack. He works out. He's got the car I want. He lives in the neighborhood I want. His family looks like the family I want. What is then? If that's you, pay attention. What does the average work day, not even work day, just day look like for you? Break it down for us.
Depends. We're all in seasons in our lives, right? So, average day when Mike feels like he's Mike and he's on his A game is I wake up, I'll get the kids' breakfast ready, wife coffee. Once everyone's settled, and I work out in the gym. I have a little home gym I work out in, and get my workout done, get ready for work, get started, pull out my checklist for the day, and start executing my day. print my calendar and I go.
That's what you do.
It's my day. Yeah.
And then how do you like separate your work-life balance? Are you working till like the wee hours? Or are you out by a certain time because you want to have dinner with your family? Like, what's that like?
I used to be able to get away with that, but with 3 kids and, wife now,
yeah.
There's a balance. There's a balance there, and you gotta constantly be in tune with your wife, and you when you need to be present with your children. When you're, for me, I have to put my kids to bed every night. I have to spend some time with them. Like, it just has to. I remember during COVID and when we were working like crazy, it was 3 nights in a row I didn't see my kids, and I was like thinking to myself, oh, we're making great money, right? But it was like, this is not even worth it for me. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, I need to see my kids. I'm like, this is money. You really just come to that come to that why let's say the why on the road, right? You're like, money, my family. You're like, yeah, this is, what, money doesn't even matter. Like at that point, it was like, screw that. Like, I just want to be with my family.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm not doing that anymore. So, I'm not, I can't go more than one night not putting my kids to bed. That's just like a rule, right? So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Okay. So we're going to ask an inverted question. So I'm going to ask you a question and then I'm going to flip it. Okay. So here are the rules. So what is the hardest thing right now about the lending business?
The hardest thing about the lending business right now is to show up, feel like you're failing every day, but still go. Perseverance. Because anytime, just my personal experience is you feel like a failure most of the time as an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like, and I know a lot of people have said that, but that's really true. You feel like a failure and then you have your breakthroughs. Right. And that's where you're like, oh my God, this is so worth it. Right. This is what I've been waiting for. And that's what makes it so much sweeter. Right. But if you can't persevere, you ain't going to make it. Like, you got to be able to persevere.
Yeah.
You got to be able to tolerate some, emotional, psychological pain.
Yeah. All right. We're going to flip it now. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
I want to hear a rapid answer. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
What is the easiest thing about the lending business right now?
The easiest thing about the lending business. Jesus. Ah, gosh. It's. Is there anything, I don't know.
There ain't shit easy about the lending business right now.
Lending business right now. Yeah, what's that, a trick question? Like, bro, there's no, you could make your schedule. I guess you could say that. You could design your schedule, right?
Yeah.
Like, you design it, right? Like, so that's the cool thing, I guess you could say, about the lending industry.
All right, I'm going to skip that question. This is my last question for you, okay? This is a main one. I want you to answer with certainty. I want you to tell me what it is. Okay, they're watching. All right, Mike, for real, what is, in your opinion, what yields the most amount of results? Is it consistency or massive action?
Consistency.
Why?
Because massive action peters out, right? You could take massive action, but if the consistency is not there, you're going to get a little bump from that massive action, right? In our industry, you may get a few more applications that next month or two, but the consistency is what's going to keep it constant.
What are some consistents that you do right now?
Just making my calls, touching base with my people, get in front of people, and just servicing as well. It's not just sales. There's opportunities every time your client calls you for a servicing issue or something. There's an opportunity to show that after the transaction is done, there's still a relationship.
Sure.
And I still care.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Can we do one last question?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do, all right. This is a good one. Okay. This is a good one. You know what I was going to ask? I was going to fucking ask, how do you define success? Well, I think we've overkilled that one, right? Like he knows what defines success for him. He goes home and this guy tucks his kids in at night. Like, still, like, he'd rather choose that than the why in the road. Right. So I'm going I'm going to ask this one. The other one I was going to ask was like, what's the biggest challenge consumers are facing for the next 5 years? I think that'd be a real good one, right? Yeah. All right. So future conversation, just a bet. Okay.
Okay.
What are some of the challenges that you think buyers are going to face over the next 5 years? I mean, we got an election upon us. We have the stock market roaring right now, right? Or maybe this is just a low, and this is going to be like an entry point for somebody. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But like, what are, in your opinion, with everything going on in our country right now, what are some of the challenges that buyers are going to face over the next 5 years?
I think it shifts. I think right now everyone's struggling with affordability and rates being so high, and I can't pay that. And then rates are going to come down. People are going to jump back into the market. Next struggle is going to be, I can't get my offer accepted. Prices are going up. And now you're paying more property tax. You're paying more for the property. So it's that counterintuitive thing, right? It's like, you have to make it work. You have to take risk today, refinance the house down the road, make it work. Think of a plan B so you don't feel so uncomfortable purchasing, right? So I think that it will shift from today, it's affordability and how can I afford it? Tomorrow it's going to be like, I can't catch it. I can't even get an offer accepted.
Oh yeah.
Right. So in the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot more people moving out of the area they're in, right? Going to a different area, relocating jobs. Like we're probably going to see a lot of that stuff. And the one thing, that's hard to see right now, and a lot of people don't see it yet because our job market's been so solid for so long, and the media hypes it up quite a bit. The Fed really thinks it's like, it's so solid, but talk to people. People are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
People around us are losing their jobs. We just haven't seen it yet in the numbers quite yet. It's not in the headlines quite yet because our unemployment rate's so low, but it's going to happen, right? And I think it typically does happen where you got your unemployment hits its lowest levels before it spikes.
Yeah.
Right. And we've already hit that marker. So how's that going to play into everything?
Oof.
Is that going to stifle the amount of people that buy? Or is there still going to be...
Or is that going to scatter them to other parts of areas and then make those areas unaffordable, kind of like what California did to Texas over the last few years?
Yeah.
I don't know, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Oh, sorry. It's like Will Ferrell during a debate in old school. It's like the question is, what's going to happen if the job market goes to shit?
Yeah.
I think that with the same thing that happened to Texas and it turned to blue.
Yeah. So there's those, there's those dynamics that you can't predict.
Yeah.
Right. But we know what history has shown. Right. So, but all in all, if we're talking about buyers, it's just like figure out a way to make it work. Own a property, own a home.
Save some money.
Right. Like
get out of debt. Fix your credit.
Yeah.
When you have that lined up, have your vision ready for your retirement.
Yeah.
Don't think that someone's going to bail you out when you're 55 or 65. I'm doing it again, aren't I, Matt? I need to stop. I need to calm down.
Yeah. It's not easy though. Right.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about saving money, and for saving money is like some people like, it's like dieting, right? It's like, oh, I got to eat that. Yeah. Like consistently. It's hard. It's psychological.
Do you think it's that difficult?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it is. Money is tricky.
Money is tricky.
Money is a very, very tricky thing.
Money is tricky. With that being
said, food is a very tricky thing.
Food is a very tricky thing. It's like
life's a tricky thing. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, in closing, Mike, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you.
Thanks.
Congratulations on the move. Yeah.
Thank you.